Oh, hey, Mia. Sorry about the mess. I was going to try to tidy up, but I totally lost track of time. Oh, yeah, I guess this does require a bit of explanation. Well, you see, I had a realization after our last lesson. The article that misled you about our robo-human ancestors and the article that misled me about robots being judgmental had something in common. Oh, yeah, great point. They are both unreliable sources, but there's something a little more specific I realized. They both have no evidence to support their claims. This got me thinking about how important evidence is, and I've spent the past week just collecting evidence. A lot of evidence. So much evidence. Why? Oh, well, I just need to make sure everything I say in my research project is supported by evidence. There will be no misinformation, no hints of bias, no misunderstandings, just the cold, hard truth. You are right, Mia. I have gone a little too overboard with this one. Ugh. Now I have more evidence than I know what to do with, and I'm not sure how to decide what evidence to use and how to work it into my project. I could really use some help with that. Oh, that is a great idea, Mia. We should spend today's lesson learning all about evidence. That way, I can get some help organizing this mess, and our friends at home can take the next steps on their own research projects. Let's take a moment to reflect before we start today's lesson. In your PDF, answer the following question. Why is it important to have evidence to support what we say and write? Pause the video now and resume when you're ready to move on. Now it's time to start the lesson. Today, we'll be learning all about evidence. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to explain the importance of using evidence in your writing, describe each type of evidence, and identify when to use each type of evidence. What comes to mind when you hear the word evidence? Maybe a detective looking for clues popped into your head. In the context of writing and research, evidence isn't so different. It's all about gathering those essential clues from reliable sources to support your ideas, just like a detective would gather evidence to solve a mystery. Why is evidence so vital in writing? Imagine you read an article that claims, "Chocolate milk comes from brown cows." Would you just accept that statement at face value? Probably not, unless the article offered some convincing details to back it up. When you're writing about a complex topic like culture, it's especially important to use evidence to build trust with your audience. Why should they believe what you say about a topic you're not an expert in? By providing evidence to support your ideas, you're letting your audience know that you did research and have reliable, expert sources to back your points up. So as we explore evidence today, think of it as the anchor for your writing. It grounds your ideas and gives your readers a reason to trust and believe in what you say. Pause the video now and jot down 2 reasons why it is so important to use evidence in your writing. Now let's discover the different types of evidence we can use. It's time to explore 4 types of evidence: facts, quotes, summaries, and paraphrases. Make sure you have your PDF out and ready to take notes. First up, the facts. A fact is something that is known to be true. A fact can be scientific, like the fact that the Earth orbits the sun, or geographical, like the Nile River is the longest river in the world, or even cultural, such as the French celebrate Bastille Day every 14th of July. Next comes quotes. This is when you borrow words directly from another source. Maybe you're pulling from an article you recently read about Bastille Day, which remarks, "The annual celebrations in Paris, filled with fireworks and parades, capture the spirit of the French Revolution and the enduring pride of the French people." Now, on to summaries. A summary provides a concise retelling of the main points of a topic from a specific source. For instance, if discussing Bastille Day, maybe you'll summarize its history before diving into how it's celebrated in France today. Lastly, we have paraphrasing. Here you take a specific quote from a source and rewrite it in your own words. Maybe you're thinking, well, that sounds a lot like summarizing. So let's look at a side-by-side comparison to get a better sense of the differences between summarizing and paraphrasing. Pause the video now and review the summary versus paraphrase chart in your PDF. Jot down any differences you notice between the summary and paraphrase and resume when you're ready to move on. If you're providing someone with a summary of what you learned about Bastille Day, you might say that it's the French National Day, celebrated on July 14th, marking the storming of the Bastille prison in 1789 and the beginning of the French Revolution. These details give an overview of an event deeply rooted in French history and traditions. Now, as you write about what you've learned, you might want to paraphrase a historian's thoughts about Bastille Day's significance. In the article, the historian said, "Bastille Day serves as a reminder of the revolutionary spirit of the French people, commemorating the day they took a stand against tyranny." You could paraphrase that by writing something like, "Bastille Day celebrates the day the French decided to rise against oppression." Remember, when you paraphrase, you're translating a specific quote into your own words. Whereas when you summarize, you're restating the big ideas from a larger passage. Well, we've learned about the 4 types of evidence, which helps a bit with sorting through all this evidence. But a big question remains. How do we know when to use each type of evidence? What do you think, Mia? Of course, it depends on what we're trying to communicate in our writing. Let's take a look at each type of evidence about the same topic and compare them. Oh, great idea, Mia. We can look at some of the evidence I found about robot culture. Review each piece of evidence in your PDF and jot down some notes about what you notice about each type. If you're not sure what to write, consider how you think each type of evidence could be used in writing. Pause the video now, and we'll compare notes after you resume. What did you come up with? I noticed that a fact offers a concise detail about a subject, whereas a summary paints a more complete picture. Meanwhile, a quote allows for a direct and personal insight, often from an expert or first-hand source on the matter. And a paraphrase seems like a good way to simplify a direct quote to make it more understandable for your audience. Pause the video now and add these insights to your notes. So when should we use each type of evidence? Let's try to figure it out based on what we already know. In your PDF, complete the matching activity. If you're not sure, make an educated guess. Pause the video now and resume when you're ready to go over your work. Here's what I've come up with. Be sure to make corrections in your PDF if you have something different. You would use a fact to offer a precise detail about a culture's geographic location. This tidbit immediately educates your reader about the topic. You would use a quote when you want to share an individual's thoughts regarding their experience participating in a celebration that's unique to their culture. Using a person's exact wording can be powerful in a situation like this. You turn to a summary when introducing an overview of a significant historical event related to a specific culture. Finally, you'd paraphrase in order to provide a simplified version of a historian's observations regarding the impact of an influential cultural monument. Oh my goodness! This is so helpful for my project! Thanks again, Mia. I may have gone a little overboard with the amount of evidence I collected, but now that I know how to sort through it all, I feel so much better about putting this project together. Over the course of this week, you'll gather evidence from your sources and begin planning how you'll use that evidence in your project. Well, that's it for today's lesson. Farewell, literary adventurers. Read, write, and inspire. Hey!